had to stop the live and start a new one, so hopefully you guys will get back on. Okay, so I am going to make a Dutch baby. Okay, so apparently there was like a technical issue. It kept repeating. So hopefully everyone will join me. Yeah, okay. So I am going to make, okay, good morning, Darren's. Thank you for joining me, getting back on. I don't know, YouTube was acting super crazy. So it's Sunday, I'm gonna make a Dutch baby. I make Dutch babies probably once a week, at least once a week. Dutch baby is it's like an American version of a German pancake. So it's like super fluffy. You put it in the oven, so there's nothing to babysit on top of the stove. Oh, you can't hear the audio? Okay, no problem. I won't start until you're all set, no issues. And so it's like a light, fluffy pancake. It's also kind of similar to a Dutch baby, a popover. So it's really, really, really easy to make. So I have a cast iron pan already in the oven. And the cast iron pan is it's like an 8-inch or a 10-inch, either size will do. And it's a really, really, really simple recipe to make. You just need a blender. If you don't have a blender, you can just whisk it by hand. You just want to make sure that all of the lumps get out. So you want like a smooth batter. So putting it in a blender is going to help out with that. So the ingredients that we need for a Dutch baby, I have my eggs here, butter, because you got to have the butter. What if you don't have a whisk? I mean, you can take a fork. It's just going to take you a little bit longer. You know, maybe start with the spoon just to get everything incorporated, and then just, you know, take a fork. But you want to make sure that the batter is pretty. What if you don't have a fork? Well, honey, I don't know what to tell you if you don't have a fork. I think you would have a fork in your kitchen. So, so hello to everyone who's just joining. I'm making a Dutch baby. Super simple to make. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So I have my blender, and this blender, it's a Vitamix. So if you're just joining me for the first time, I'm a professional chef, and Vitamix is what you will see in professional kitchens. Wait, so your mother banned all forks due to safety concerns? Okay, so your mom is smart. That might be a good idea. But so anyways, back to the Vitamix. It's a very powerful blender. It's very expensive. It's like $450. But again, this is what you see in professional kitchens. And I'll do another live talking about the equipment that I use, you know, that I think will help you cook like a chef. Can you do a simple, funny challenge that I'm gonna say? Okay, I'm not understanding what that is. Yes, Ashley, you need to invest in a Vitamix, because it's a blender that will literally last you forever. I'm sure you guys have heard of KitchenAid. KitchenAid is something that your grandparents, your grandmother probably had in her kitchen. It's just something that will not die. It's very high quality. It's made very well. So yeah. All right, so I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna crack my eggs. And you're just gonna start with 4 eggs. And crack your eggs first into the blender. You don't want to put your flour in first, because it'll get stuck at the bottom. So you want to put all your wet ingredients in first. So I'm gonna do, this is just a 1/2 cup of milk. And again, it's super easy. We're talking four eggs, 1/2 cup of milk, 1/2 cup of flour. All right, I have my flour over here. All right, here's flour, putting it in. Hi everyone who's just joining. I'm making a Dutch baby. It's kind of like the American version of a German pancake. So I have all of this in here. It's smooth. I have my cast iron skillet in the oven. The oven is set at 425 degrees. And you want to preheat your cast iron pan, because as soon as the batter hits the pan, it's going to start cooking. So this has been in there like for 10, 20 minutes. I have 4 tablespoons of butter. Now that the pan is hot, I'm just going to go open the oven and put this in the cast iron pan so it can melt. All right, so I just put that in. And let's see. Oh, actually I want to do a pinch of salt. Now with the Dutch baby, you could do a couple different variations. If you wanted to have an almond, you can use a little bit of almond extract. Some Dutch baby recipes call for sugar. I don't add the sugar because I'm gonna serve it with some fresh strawberries. Also, I'm gonna put some syrup, maple syrup, so that's already sweet. So I don't need to add more sweetness to it. So I'm gonna come over here. Just gonna move it. All right, so I have the blender. It's gonna be loud. It's only gonna take a second to just blend all the ingredients. So I'm gonna start off on low. You can hear it, it's very loud. Oh, so that's, okay, so we're done. So someone commented, someone told me once that a chef is a person who isn't afraid to use more butter than you. That is absolutely true. So a lot of times when you go out to eat and then you try to recreate the dish at home, people are always saying, how come it doesn't taste like the restaurant? And usually the reason is they're using a lot more salt and a lot more butter. So you just gotta use more salt and butter because that all adds a lot of flavor to your dish. So, okay, so we're done blending. Let me I'm gonna take the pan out of the oven so I can put it in the pan. You can see this is really hot. And then so I have the batter, and I'm just gonna pour it in. And then immediately you just wanna put it back in the oven. Cast iron is so heavy. Okay, so that's 425 degrees. It's gonna take about 15 minutes. Okay, so you're leaving, one of you guys is leaving, no problem. Come back, watch the live so you can make the Dutch baby. Let me know how it turns out. I'll see you next time. While we're waiting for that to cook, I am going to slice some strawberries to go on top. And with this, you can put any kind of fruit. I have some strawberries that are on the verge of kind of going bad. You know, it's like strawberries nowadays, they're really not that great. It's not like the strawberries of my childhood. When I was a kid, my grandmother, she had a strawberry patch, and it was the most incredible strawberries. And they were tiny. And I remember when I visited France, I was in Paris, and they have like these small, tiny strawberries. And that was the strawberry of my childhood. So they were just very small and just full of flavor. So the big ones are just kind of bland, but you know, you're in America, so what can you do? So I'm gonna rinse these. Definitely want to rinse all your fruit because even if it is organic, you still don't know where it's been. So I'm gonna grab my knife, and where is, so let me just show you. I'm just gonna show you like all of my knives that I have. So I have this, and then on this side, you see all my knives? Tons and tons of knives. So being a chef, I collect knives, and I do have a favorite. No, this is not my favorite. So usually chefs will use like either an 8-inch, this is an 8-inch knife, or a 10-inch knife. So usually in culinary school, they have you start with the 10-inch knife. And so that's what I'm used to. So I gravitate between the 8-inch or the 10-inch knife. When you're buying a knife, you wanna look to make sure that the steel is called forged, so it goes all the way to the end. And look, some of these knives are not expensive. I think the ones from culinary school, which was like over 15 years ago, I paid like 40 bucks for it and I still use it. So you don't have to spend a ton of money to have good knives. You do want to keep it sharpened. Williams-Sonoma, they'll do sharpening. If you just Google knife sharpening in your area, usually you take them to a place. It might take a week for you to get them back. So that's what I do. Or if you're a chef, a lot of chefs, I have a sharpener that I can do, but sometimes I don't feel like doing that and I'll just send them out and pick them up. So let me find, actually I'm looking for my knife. And then this right here is just, this just helps to keep the edge of the knife. I'm just gonna rinse this off. And then I'm just gonna slice my strawberries. Let's see. This also has some blueberries, but I don't want to do blueberries today. And so let's see. Like I said, this is a Dutch baby. Next week I'm gonna make, I've been thinking about making like an almond croissant Dutch baby. I've never made it before, so it's just something that's in my head. So I think I'm gonna try that. Also, I love coconut, and I have some coconut flakes in here. And I'm thinking I'm gonna get a little bit of coconut extract. Maybe instead of using milk, maybe I'll make it with some coconut milk. And I just have all these ideas in my head. So, you know, I'm gonna try it out, and then if it turns out good, then we can make it together. Okay, so my strawberries, I'm gonna throw the tops away. Here's the berries. I'm just gonna check on the Dutch baby because it poofs up. Let's just look in. Okay, it hasn't started to poof yet. All right, so we're gonna clean as you go. One of the best things to do when you're in the kitchen, you want to clean as you go, so then when you're at the end, you don't have a big mess. So I'm gonna start cleaning. And also, I'm gonna tell you some of the spices that I like to use when I'm cooking. And if anyone has ever watched the TV show, The Bear, it's a huge show. I think it's on FX. And The Bear, it's about a chef working in a restaurant. And I'm gonna show you the spices that they use. So the spices are called, it's from a company called Burlap and Barrel. And in my last professional kitchen, we used Burlap and Barrel. We would just get like the big size. And they have like different variations. So they have the adobo, caliguisada, and then they have beef and lamb. They have really, really, really incredible spices. And what I love about them is that they work with local farmers all over the world. So you can feel good that you're helping someone in another country make money. Now, these aren't cheap spices. They're about like $9.99 a bottle, but they're way, way, way superior than what you would find in the supermarket. You know, like this is super fresh. It's just insane. They have if you like chili, which it's chili season because it's fall, but I'm here in Texas and it's hot as hell. So chili, they have a black Urfa chili powder and it comes from Turkey. It's the best thing you could put in your chili. It's just gonna transform it. So maybe I'll make a chili for you guys one day. But Burlap and Barrel, I don't get any kind of compensation for this. These are some of the spices that you should use if you want to cook like a professional chef, because this is what we use. And like I said, it's in the TV show The Bear. So a lot of professional places, professional kitchens use this. Also, when I was a private chef, I bought these. So, and my client was happy. So, okay, so while that starting to poof up, while that cooks, I'm gonna finish cleaning. Do you guys have any questions for me? So also, if you're just joining, my name is Radia, and I'm a chef. Used to be a private chef in New York City, and I'm currently in Texas, trying to heal my body from being a chef of all these years, because it's very hard work. You're on your feet all the time, and my body hurts. So, but I do love being a chef and being in the kitchen. I think I would die if I had to work at a desk all day. So yeah, so I'm trying to figure out what are my next steps, because physically it's just something that I can't do for like 10, 12 hours a day anymore. So hopefully I could like transition to maybe doing some developing for like a company or a restaurant, something like that. So, but I have had some crazy stories from being a chef. People are crazy, rich people are very crazy. And again, they don't know the word no, because they've never heard it. I worked for a billionaire, and I remember there was this time when I told her no to something, and the assistant came up to me and said, she's never heard the word no. And I said, well, there's a first time for everything, because I am not the one. So I can't tell you what the whole conversation was because I have an NDA. And also NDAs are very common when you're working with very wealthy people, because they don't want you to go and sell their secrets. I do remember I was working for a music executive, and this was like the week that New York City shut down during the pandemic. And I didn't even, the first day I went over to his office and I didn't even meet him. I just gave the food to the assistant and I didn't hear anything. The next day, just dropped off some food and she said, oh no, come up, such and such wants to meet you. She said, John wants to meet you. And I was like, oh, okay. And it was literally, I think a few days before, like the week before, that they closed the city down. And so everyone was kind of like on a heightened sense of like, is COVID here? Is it coming here? And I remember I went up to him to introduce myself and I was like, are we shaking hands? And he was like, well, you're cooking my food, so yeah, let's shake hands. So he was a great guy. A week later, he was based in California. He flew back and I didn't see him for like another 6 to 9 months. Actually, no, it might have been longer than that. and he was really like a dream client, just very easy. And then the pandemic just kind of ruined it. So, you know, but he was a very nice guy. And I remember during Christmas time, he sent me a gift card, which he didn't have to do because we were new to working with each other, but he was just very, very kind. So it's always great if you can find somebody, if you have a client who treats you well, because there's a lot of rich people who don't treat their chefs well. So, okay, so let me check on the Dutch Baby. And it's getting very poofy. So I'm gonna get a plate. I'm gonna get a plate, and I'm gonna get ready because when it comes out, it's gonna be piping hot. And you don't need any butter on top of it because remember, you added 4 tablespoons of butter for the base. All right, so I'm gonna put these up. If you guys have any questions, just drop it in the comments. It's Sunday. Does anyone have anything fun planned? What are you guys cooking for Sunday dinner? Are you guys making anything? I'm not gonna make dinner. I was on live yesterday and I smoked some ribs and chicken, so I don't have to worry about dinner today, which is great. So I always try to, I don't necessarily like to cook every day, but I'll try to make something that'll last for 2 days because I don't want to be in the kitchen all the time because, again, it feels like work. So, okay, so I'm gonna put my knife up and I'm gonna put my knife up. I think we're almost there for the Dutch Baby. Let me just check again. And it's easier to just keep the light on so you can see it poof up because you also don't want to keep opening the door because you're letting the heat escape. I'm gonna put the butter away. And so it's always nice to have a Dutch Baby instead of, usually I'll just have some granola, some yogurt with some fresh fruit. So I love a hot breakfast for the weekends. Maybe one day I'll make like shrimp and grits for you guys. I love shrimp and grits. So also if you're just joining me, so I have content on my YouTube channel. Also follow me on Instagram. So it's at Life by Radia, so it's the same handle as YouTube, because I post content over there. Also, I just launched a talk show that celebrates best friendships. So there's a lot for you to see. We're already on episode 4. New episodes drop every Friday. So be sure to check it out. They drop every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So check that out. So, and essentially what it's about is celebrating friendships, how your friendships get you through the ups and downs of life. You know, I've had some terrible moments in my life, some really down moments, and I think about my friends who have shown up for me every single day, the people who are like calling, you know, the people who are coming over to just help get you out of your funk. So that's what this show is. It's just celebrating that. How do you get through the difficult moments and also just the shenanigans of having, you know, a best friend and all of the crazy stuff that you guys have done over the years. So I think you're gonna like it. Be sure to check it out. Make sure you subscribe so you'll get notifications when I go live, when I drop a new episode. Also, I'm gonna have like some beauty content. I have some hair content coming. So I went to the Dominicans over a week ago and got a blowout. So this is all my hair. And so yeah, so I'm gonna show you how I maintain my curls because this is over a week. And so I'm gonna show you how do you maintain a Dominican blowout for 2 weeks, because I go every 2 weeks because I can't be giving all my money away. So also gonna have some beauty content and some fashion. Just like, no, like I'm not like a huge fashionista because I've worn a chef uniform for like the last 15 years. And so I never really had to buy clothes. But I do have some outfits that I love, some outfits that people have asked about in the episodes for Best Friends Forever, like where did you get it? So I'm gonna go over where you can find those outfits if you like. And then also like lipstick. Now I do love lipstick. And I have a video on my YouTube about lipstick, and it's from a company called T Beauty. So I have a few more lipsticks that should arrive sometime this week. I'm gonna try them on. It's originally for South Asian women, but South Asian women, they have like a wide range of skin coloring, just like Black people. So it actually will work on a Black person's skin. So I think we're ready for the Dutch baby to come out of the oven. Okay, so you can see, so look at the height on that. Okay, so I'm gonna set this down. And I'm gonna pop it. I'm just gonna take my knife, and you see how it lifts like really easily. It's so hot. Oh, okay. Ooh, I might have to get, okay, I'm gonna have to get a spatula. Oh, hot, hot, hot. Do you see that? Okay. Alrighty. So I'm gonna take this pan, I'm gonna put it right back over there. And then I'm just gonna cut a slice. I want you to listen for how crispy it is. Do you hear that? All right. So this is the Dutch baby. I'm gonna put it on a plate. I have my strawberries. Ooh, also, you know what? I wanna get some powdered sugar, and I'm gonna get the maple syrup. So again, if you are just joining me, let's see, where is my powdered sugar? I am making a Dutch baby, which is like the German version. It's the American version of a German pancake. It's just a lot easier than pancakes. You just put it in the oven and the oven does the work. Okay, so I don't have any powdered sugar. So I'm gonna use maple syrup. Do you guys at home use maple syrup, or do you use like the fake syrup? I think maple syrup is the only way to go. So I'm just gonna drizzle it. Drizzle it. Look at that. Ooh, that looks so good. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, cut into it. Gonna get. So good. It's crispy, custardy from the eggs, sweet from the maple syrup. This is so good. So today we learned how to make a Dutch baby. It's literally like 4 ingredients: 4 eggs, half a cup of flour, half a cup of milk, and then you need the butter. So it's super simple. If you're a busy mom, busy dad, and you need to get breakfast ready, blend it in the blender or whisk it by hand. Put it in a preheated cast iron skillet with the butter, pour it in like 15 minutes later, you have breakfast ready. And this Dutch baby will feed like 4 people. Just cut it into quarters. So it's super, super easy. So yeah, so that's how you make a Dutch baby. So hopefully you guys will join me next week for brunch again. Maybe I'll do another variation of the Dutch baby. I hope you guys will make it. I'm gonna put in the comments the recipe, and then you can just make it and let me know how it turned out for you. So I'm gonna sign off. Remember to like and subscribe, because I'm gonna have more content for you guys. There's currently over like 100 videos on my YouTube, so please check it out, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.